Now we have the Donna Adelson case moving to trial. We think it's going. She keeps the same attorney Charlie Adelson has. Is that a conflict? Not that you can't waive that, but they get literally to the day of jury selection. Nobody has a written waiver of the conflict. So they had to yank it off the calendar, and now we're here where we are. So she's been in the Leon County
by the way,
jail.
In New Jersey, you can't waive a conflict in a criminal case. You can in a civil case, but you can't waive it in a criminal case.
Yeah, interesting. That's probably more realistic because, is somebody really going to be able to knowingly, voluntarily, intelligently waive what they aren't really understanding, how the conflict might come back to bite them in the ass. So that's probably a good rule. Not so much in Florida. So she's been in the Leon County jail or the Leon County Annex since they arrested her. She had one foot on the plane on the way to Vietnam, the non-extradition country that she says now that they were going to, she and her husband, they just wanted to let the dust settle, just to clear their heads. It was not an attempt to flee. It was just, we just need some time to take this all in, right? Because the daughter, Wendy, who had testified in virtually every trial, has some level of immunity. We're not sure it's going to get her get out of jail free card entirely, but to some degree, she's still clean. So the family's dealing with all of that. That was why they wanted to go to Vietnam. So she's had issues in the jail. So here's I'm going to give you a list of options here.
Okay.
We don't have as much time as we might to cover this. She spoke for about an hour at this bond hearing. She's basically applying for bond, saying that being in jail is a hardship. Well, you know what else is a hardship? Being shot point blank in the head in your garage. That's a hardship. So she wants out, and she's using various incidents and maladies to get out. Would you like to hear about her sciatica? Would you like to hear about her hearing issue? Would you like to hear about her arm that got cut? Would you like to hear about her shortness of breath issue because she's gained so much weight? Would you like to hear about the shower incident? Would you like to hear about the bathroom sink incident and the extortion connected to it? Or would you like to hear that she can't get any sleep and therefore can't properly help her attorneys prepare?
You missed one.
Oh, well, which one? Which one?
It's related to the gaining weight. It's the food.
Oh, the food.
They only
because it's
serve
all
you carbohydrates, no proteins.
I'm gonna pick for you. If you're not gonna pick, I'm gonna pick one for you.
I picked that one. I picked the one.
Oh, you picked that one, the food one?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get to that one. 27 minutes in. Okay, this is my rough.
I'm sorry.
Note taking here. I'm gonna get to a couple others too that are. This is actually not as emotional as some of them, but yeah, it's noticeable. Let me see if I can get to it here for you. Hold on.
Let me drink my sugar and
carbohydrate. You gonna pop open a new one there?
Yeah, I'm gonna pop up a new one. You can see why I have long nails. Not for my typing, it's for my opening my Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay, so again, I'll open it up and then I will scroll to the spot where you
examine when you're ready to scroll for.
Okay, so she did about an hour. This is roughly 27 minutes in for your first selection.
As far as your medical conditions go, the last thing I want to talk about is something that I would give two different descriptions of, but I'm just asking the questions. You're the one providing the information to the court in your testimony.
Okay.
So this shortness of breath or heavy breathing that you're experiencing,
Right.
How long has that been going on?
It's been going on several months, probably at least 3 months.
ASAP, Duncan.
And you're experiencing it then during your incarceration. Did you have it prior to being incarcerated?
No, I did not.
Okay. What have you noticed about the breathing and how would you describe it? Shortness of breath, heavy breathing, what?
I know it. I guess it sounds like heavy breathing. It's shortness of breath. I've never had that before. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I've gained more than a third of my body weight here. The diet is all carbs, no protein, and when you get spaghetti with mashed potatoes, cornbread, and white bread, that's your dinner.
Sounds good to me.
Typical of what we get.
Sounds pretty good.
And we have had no exercise at all. We're confined, especially in the annex. The annex, we've been confined to our beds almost all the time. Once in a while, we get a pod officer that lets us walk, so you can walk in a circle around the girls' beds. But otherwise, there's no, even if you want to get off your bed and just try to like do stretches or wall push-ups or anything. She says, this is not an exercise room, there's no exercising here.
Okay, so you get the drift there. She gets heavy diet, no exercise. She gained, did she say third overweight?
Third of her weight, right? Third of her body
Holy
weight.
cow.
Holy cow.
All right, I'm going to play one now, and we're certainly not making fun of
No, because
her.
if these are issues that in federal like cases when they're looking at jail conditions, there's a lot of people in jail that aren't guilty of anything, and they shouldn't be treated like a mashed potato.
Yeah, and her case is somewhat different because we know so much about it from these other trials, right?
So we can make a little fun of it.
Yeah, so
we can make fun of it when we probably shouldn't.
We're making fun of the scenario, which is let me out of jail for this horrible crime for which I've been accused because jail's not fun. I mean, but this one I want to talk about, it gets beyond that, and it really is kind of scary, and it's almost like something you'd hear about or read about in some cop drama, right? This is the extortion that she says that she's been suffering, and it all began with an incident in the bathroom. So let me see if I cue that up here.
No.
Okay, all right. The next thing I want to talk about is what transpired in October of, thank you, October of 2024, where you had said previously you were attacked. What were you doing? Where were you at, first of all, when that took place?
In October. So I was in the bathroom. It's 10:30 at night. I went in to brush my teeth.
Okay.
There are three sink stations in the bathroom. Each one has 4 sinks, and I was at the center station with my back to the door, and I'm a righty, so I was holding my toothbrush with my right hand, and I was balancing myself with my left hand on the sink. I was just brushing my teeth. That's all I was doing.
And what happened?
And someone came up behind me and pulled my left hand away from the sink and twisted my arm and like jerked it behind my back, like reaching up toward my neck.
Okay.
And
did it hurt?
Yeah, it hurt.
Okay. What happened?
It hurt. And I said, "What are you doing?" And she's, in the same breath that she did that with my arm, she said, "You're going to buy me commissary." I said, "I'm going to what?" And she said, "Unless you want those pretty white teeth knocked out of your mouth, you're going to buy me commissary." So I said, okay. And then she named a package that she wanted, and she's out. She was gone. She just that fast.
Okay. How bad would you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad would you rate the pain at the time that she did that to you?
Oh my God, it was a 10.
Okay.
I didn't know my arm could reach that far back.
Okay. And what did you do after she did that to you?
So, kind of stood there for a minute, and then I just thought, okay, I'm gonna go back to my bunk. And I went back to my bunk and I got under the covers and I cried. I just stayed under my covers. I didn't come out.
Okay. During your entire time in the annex, did this particular inmate remain confined in that area with you?
She was in the annex the whole time.
Okay. And I know that you don't want to talk about who did this to you, because why? Why don't you want to disclose who it was?
There's one thing I've learned since I'm there is you don't, and the word is snitch, you don't tell on anyone because you'll be sorry you did. And I've seen that. And so I didn't even tell you for a while. I wasn't going to tell anybody. I didn't want to tell anybody. I didn't want, she's a big woman, and I was afraid of her.
Okay. Approximately how tall would you say she is compared to you?
She's over 6 feet, she's
Okay.
over 200 pounds. She's
Okay.
a very large woman.
Okay. Were you afraid of her?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I was after that.
Okay. And you said that she demanded that you were going to start getting her weekly commissary. Did you do that?
Yes.
Okay. Let me, can I have just one moment, Judge?
Go ahead.
So I'm sure this happens all the time.
I'm sure it happens too. You know, we've heard about Rice Street in Atlanta, right? There's no doubt this happened, and it shouldn't happen. There's no doubt about that also. Kay Schmidt says, I'm torn, jail is tough. She's an older woman who's being extorted and bullied. It hasn't been to trial yet. At least prison has amenities. And this is the problem that, you know, we all know the whole story, so we don't feel so bad for her. But there's a lot of people who are innocent who are sometimes waiting for motor vehicle charges or can't make bail on something. And this happens, and a lot worse. And
Your
she's
Honor,
right
in
about
order to move this along a little more promptly, I've requested of the state, and they have no objection. At this time, I'm going to offer
she goes into the detail about how she has and apparently still is providing these packages for this woman that threatened her, and she has about 5 or 6 other friends that are kind of in concert with her, because they offer her, the prosecution on cross offers her, well, what if you identify this person and we will remove her? You'll stay put. They have her in isolation now, right? And for her own protection. We'll put you back in Gen Pop then. And she said, don't do that, because there's these 5 or 6 other women that'll just pick up where this other woman left off. And so, you know, it's a tough argument to make, especially when you're arrested in what looks like an attempt to flee the jurisdiction, right? Right.
In a very bad case. So, you know, and if she is guilty of having somebody assassinated, no one's going to feel sorry for her. But nobody in prison also should be extorted and being feared of being killed by another inmate, and that's a problem. It's a problem in prisons. Let's face it.
Yep. And
jail, not just prisons and jails.
And I don't believe they have a trial date yet. I think it's in June, but I'm not sure there's a hard date yet. I believe it's in June. Missy, you can check me on that. Everybody else, check me on that if you have more specific info. I think it's going to be in June, which is a lovely time to be in Tallahassee. So
I'm so glad that one of us gets to go on the road and the other of us gets to like go shopping and kind of like look good.
So keep that in mind if you want a mug, because I have a feeling there may be an opportunity coming up there.
All right, that's
okay.
We're just kidding. Michael Bryan is you know, he's a great on the ground reporter. I wouldn't do as well for you, the viewers, as he does, because he's just fabulous. I mean, as you heard him with the case, Karen Reed case, and he went after Alan Jackson, he went after Alessi to get comments at a time that no one else did. And so, the previous week, he got comments that there were good comments for me, actually. And then when he followed them and asked them, but that's the kind of reporter is. He takes no side. He just tries to get all.
We're trying to tell the story here. That's all we're trying to do. And then obviously we have opinions, but they're based on the information we get. We're not getting paid by anybody, so we're not exactly taking sides here.
So you're holding the stream while Michael does this thing with reporting his boots on the ground. Yes, and trying to deal with my cases and all that. But somebody has to, as all of you know who've been involved in running a podcast, and how much work it takes, and how lucky we are that we had Dizzy and Missy and all of you moderators who help grow this channel, because it's one person can't do it, 2 people can't do it. If we want to grow and bring you everything and be on the road here.
And we thought we made a conscious decision to do that, to be honest, because I think it helps distinguish us from others, even when it's a case that's on TV and you can watch it. It's just, to me, you get certain things from being there that you can't get from just watching it. So we hope to continue to do that. We hope.
We hope. But to do that, you have to like tonight.